Assalamu'alaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. For this presentation, we will present about teacher competencies in Indonesia. Let's introduce our group members. Our group members, first, there are Annisa Rizki S, Nikmatus Syifa F, Nurhalimah, and I, Vika Nur V, and Yunisa Ummi K. Next, I would like to explain about the outline for this presentation. First, teaching English in Indonesia, English language teaching policy, the teaching profession in Indonesia, EFL teachers' quality, and the domain of English teachers' competence, and the last conclusion. Teaching English in Indonesia is very important to compare the teacher competence to improve the student skills in soft skills and hard skills in class or out class. So let's start with the part teaching English in Indonesia, and will be explained with Syifa.
Assalamu'alaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhalimah, and now I will explain about teaching English in Indonesia. English is more likely to be taught and learned only as a foreign language. Learning and teaching English occurs mostly in classroom rather than during daily communication. As stated by Oxford and Sherin, a foreign language in this context is a language learned only during formal education. English learners in Indonesia don't have ready access to using English as a tool of communication during their daily lives outside the classroom. Also, according to Burns, he defined foreign language learning as learning a target language in a country that doesn't use this language as a speech community. And the next is, according to Sulistyo, there are several factors creating difficulties for teaching English foreign language in Indonesia. So the first is, English foreign language teachers must teach students in large classes, often with more than 15 students. So if there is many students in the classroom, the learning process is not effective. And the second is, not all students who attend English classes are motivated. As we know, English in Indonesia, English is a compulsory subject, which means that students must learn the language for examination purposes. And the third is, both school and university, the English teaching focus is largely on reading skills, with less emphasis on English grammar and vocabulary. And the next is, three factors align with Bradford's. He feel that less effective English learning and teaching in Indonesia is often due to classroom size and student motivation. Although Bradford also includes the factors of teacher qualification as contributing to the limited effectiveness of English foreign language teaching in Indonesia. And the next is, according to Kirkpatrick, the teaching of English in Indonesia schools and college has been less than satisfactory during the last few decades. Previous studies have identified several factors that impact the success of language learning and teaching in Indonesia. And the first is about large class size. The second is less qualified teachers. Third is a lack of teaching facilities. Fourth is salaries for the teachers. And the next is, in Indonesia, English is taught as a foreign language. Teacher being main source and facilitator for students. So there are two teacher roles. The first is teacher roles is teaching English, and the second is making the teaching learning process as interesting as possible in order to engage students in learning. And but to observe similar reasons for the limited effectiveness of English foreign language learning and teaching in Indonesia. And the first is English foreign language learning mostly occurs in the classroom context, with English learners having limited exposure to English for communicative purposes. The second, the only source of learning is from the teachers and learning materials provides in the class. Third, students learn English because it is a compulsory part of school curriculum and subsequently may not be motivated to learn.
Next, I will explain about English language teaching policy. So, from some research, state that many professional English teachers at schools are considered to have inadequate competence to teach English. And many teachers are not sufficiently familiar with the active learning and holistic assessment required by the curriculum, and there are few workshops or training opportunities to improve teachers' abilities in the aspect of teaching. In order to employ professionally equipped teachers, the recruitment procedure must be improved. It is necessary to develop teachers' professionalism in order to improve the quality of Indonesian education. So, if we want to improve the quality of Indonesian education, the first thing that we have to do is we have to improve the quality of the teacher. And then the next, MUTAIM 2014 suggests that the recruitment of the teacher is based both on the result of the written test and teachers' ability in design lesson plans based on the curriculum and perform teaching in practice in a real class. So, if we have to recruit among the teacher, it is based on the written test and also their ability in design lesson plans. Then, teachers' professional abilities must be continuously developed through various activities, such as attending conferences or workshops about teaching, and attending teacher association meetings that focus on improving the quality of their practice. So when the teacher want to improve their ability, their professionalism, they have to attending conference or workshop and attending teacher association that focus on improving the quality of the teacher practice. The next, the Indonesian government policy on English foreign language teaching has received some criticism from research conducted in the areas of teacher competence, curriculum, and English language teaching. The government concept of professionalism competence consists of grammatical, linguistic, discourse, and social-linguistic competence, as well as being able to use English for communication purposes in both written and spoken forms. Halim 2013 agreed that to be an EFL teacher for students with different cultural backgrounds in Indonesia, one's professional competence must encompass a broad range of capabilities. It must include a mastery of the materials to be taught, knowledge of how to teach with the materials, a sense of responsibility, and a sense of being a part of the teaching profession. The next, in addition, some policies and practice in the EFL classroom in Indonesia lack consistency. Lee 2007 stated there are several constraints at work between language policy and language teaching classroom practice in Indonesia. The first, students have different motivation and background traits, so it makes it difficult to design and resource a single curriculum that suits for all the students across the country. The second, inadequate funds mean low salaries for teachers. And the third is the influence of policy and curriculum politics is a contrast to language learning.
Next is why teacher competence important. A. Selection for teachers. a selection for good administrator for school when they are need teachers. Jadi diharapkan pada para calon guru-guru yang telah memenuhi kompetensi, mereka dapat berhasil ketika mereka mengajar di sekolah. And next is B, coaching and development. Determine with prospective teacher have the ability and still need to be developed. Jadi jika para calon-calon guru tersebut belum memenuhi standar kompetensi, maka mereka dapat dibina sehingga mereka akan berhasil. Next, C, curriculum development. The teacher is included of the curriculum components to achieve the demands teacher competence to be able to implement job and responsibilities. Jadi, karena ketika guru yang telah memenuhi persyaratan kompetensi, mereka mampu mengembangkan kurikulum seperti menghasilkan alat atau cara baru dalam mengajar. And next is D, learning activities and learning outcome. A competent teacher can create learning environment that are effective, creative, fun, and optimize learning in the classroom. Jadi, proses belajar siswa yang tidak hanya ditentukan oleh sekolah serta isi kurikulum, maka di sini peran penting seorang guru yang akan mampu mengelola kelasnya sehingga kelasnya menjadi lebih optimal.
Okay, next is EFL teacher quality and the domain of English teacher competence. The first is select Indonesian English teacher. There are 3 points. The first is a study conducted by Lengkenawati 2005 found that the most Indonesian teacher lack competence in some of the English skill they teach. Jadi di sini tuh beberapa peneliti menemukan bahwa beberapa guru di Indonesia tuh memiliki kemampuan yang rendah dalam English skill, dalam kemampuan bahasa Inggris yang mereka ajarkan. For the example is, while teacher might be competent using English grammar, he or she may not be proficient in English listening and reading skill. Analysis from writing tests indicate that the teacher had low knowledge of the organization of ideas, poor use of the grammar, and a very limited range of the vocabulary. The next is inadequate knowledge of the teaching techniques and strategies in English teaching. Jadi di sini beberapa guru di Indonesia itu masih memiliki kemampuan dalam teknik dan strategisnya itu masih rendah. Jadi mereka itu dalam hal menentukan strategis dan teknik dalam English teaching masih rendah. The next is the teacher show very little comprehension of how learner evaluation should be conducted. Jadi di sini tuh guru masih memiliki kemampuan yang rendah dalam menunjukkan, dalam mengaplikasikan learner evaluation yang harus dilakukan oleh siswa. Next is the teacher ability. There are 3 points. First, a teacher ability to speak English well will benefit student in EFL teaching context. Jadi di sini tuh teacher harus memiliki skill berbicara yang bahasa Inggris yang baik, yang bertujuan agar siswa yang diajarkan itu bisa memahami konteks pembelajaran yang disampaikan oleh guru. Next, there are Sopriana 2020 suggests that competence teacher must have language content of knowledge. Content knowledge includes aspects such as grammar and the other features of the language mastery that are necessary for students to build communicative competence in their use of English. Jadi di sini tuh Supriyatna menyebutkan bahwa teacher tuh harus mempunyai kompetensi dalam language content knowledge. Jadi language content knowledge di sini yaitu kemampuan guru untuk memberikan siswa aspek-aspek yang dapat digunakan dalam berkomunikasi dalam berbahasa Inggris. The next is motivation is an important factor in student engagement, and the teacher must develop abilities and skills to stimulate interest in their student. Jadi di sini tuh motivasi merupakan hal yang penting bagi siswa. Jadi guru tuh harus memiliki kemampuan untuk menstimulat, membuat siswa tuh interest terhadap pembelajaran tersebut. Okay, next is the improve English teacher skill. There are 2 points. The first is to improve and maintain quality with EFL teacher competence in Indonesia. Programs such as lesson study and the teacher professional development could be useful for the teacher to undertake. Lesson study can increase the teacher teaching ability. Jadi di sini ada 2 poin dalam untuk bisa meningkatkan English teacher skill. Yang pertama adalah lesson study bagi teacher dan teacher professional development. Next, Ilmawati 2014 proposed that models of EFL teacher professional development must be linked to vision for EFL teacher professionalism in an Indonesian context.
Okay, the last for this presentation, I have a little conclusion. In summary, in EFL teaching and learning context, teacher competence is essential to facilitating successful English exposure and learning during classroom activities. So teaching not only in teaching EFL, not only in learning context, but in social context that improve the student skills and the teacher competence in class and all of the activities in class or out class. I think for this problem. Okay, English language instruction is really needed by students in EFL learning context to maximize the language exposure. So, teachers' proficiency in spoken language as the model for students in class has become critical issue in language learning in Indonesia. Okay, that's all for our presentation. If you have any question, please fill in the question with the discussion forum in my class. Okay, thank you for your attention. Have a nice day and goodbye.